Hello, everyone. It is Sunday evening, and I'm here with some thoughts about thankful thinking. And, we're about halfway through the month now, a little bit over. And this series is going a little differently than I thought it would at the beginning of the month. I thought I was going to pick a bunch of different quotes about thinking and focus on like how we're thinking and more about our brains and things like that. And it's kind of turning into more of a quotes about things that I'm experiencing or different aspects of life, and then how we can have some thankful thinking about those subjects, about children, about marriage, about all sorts of things. So I don't know. It's kind of turning into something different than I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the month. Hopefully, that is okay for all of you, and you're getting some inspiration from this. I know that my mind is a little bit more focused on being thankful for whatever I am experiencing each day. So today, I thought that I would focus on uh, something that I've been dealing with. I took on a huge editing project about a week ago. It's due on, I'm going to try to get it done by Wednesday. And so I've been hitting it pretty hard. I've been working when I'm not, I've still found time to relax, and I went to the wedding and I enjoyed the kids while they were here and all that. But when I have not been doing those things, I've been at my computer and I've been editing this novel. It's really interesting. And I'm just going to read a quote first before I talk about it a little bit more. This quote says, "A good novel tells us the truth about its hero, but a bad novel tells us the truth about its author." And so if you like to read at all, you probably can see, or that's a quote by G.K. Chesterton. He was an author and a philosopher. But you probably can see the truth in that. When you read a good book, you're not thinking about the author at all, are you? You're just thinking about all of these characters and how they're interacting, and you're inspired by the hero or heroine, and you are just you love the story. When you read a book that is not written so well, you're thinking about the author more. You're thinking about, oh gosh, this is that there's a misspelled word, there's plot holes all over the place, this is not a good story, and you think, who wrote this thing? Well, I am an author, so far only of nonfiction. I would like to write a novel someday. I don't know if I have it in me, but I am also an editor. And so a writer friend of mine reached out about a week and a half ago, or a little over a week ago, and she said, "Hey, I have this novel. Do you have time to edit it?" And so I said yes. And so, like I said, I've been hitting it pretty hard, editing this novel, and it's really interesting. Um, and it's very well written. I know it is, but it's is good to have someone look at your work. I have to say that like the story is nice, but it's good to have someone look at your work because I was going through, and of course, once in a while you find a misspelled word or some punctuation that's not right, or a quotation mark is missing or something like that. But I did find one spot. I was telling the kids in the children's message this morning that I was going along and Jake was trying to call Kelly, and the phone line was disconnected. And then a couple paragraphs later, he tried again, and he dialed Jenny's number. And I was like, Jenny? Who's Jenny? I have not seen anyone named Jenny in this whole book, and I'm, 2/3 of the way done. And so I caught that and realized, okay, maybe in the first draft of the novel, the heroine's name was Jenny, and they changed it to Kelly, and they just missed that one spot where it changed. So it's good to have someone look at your work. But I was telling the kids that we can think of that in our own lives. That, okay, I went as an editor, I can make changes if I know that it's a misspelled word or if it is a punctuation mark that's missing. But there are certain things that I have to ask the author before I make changes. Or I write a comment in the margin and I say, hey, you might want to think about this, or check this fact and see if it's right. And the author is the one that is in charge of changing that. They make the decisions. As when I'm editing a novel, I can't all of a sudden decide, oh, I'm going to have Kelly move to Brazil. That would be overstepping my bounds as an editor, because the author is the one that is in charge of the story and knows where they want it to go, and they make the decisions about what's going to happen. And I was talking to the kids in the children's message and saying, we can think of that in our own lives. We have an author of our lives, and that is God, right? And so we can enjoy the life that God has given us, but sometimes we almost want to act like an editor, and we want to change things around, and we want to take control and make the decisions. When I'm editing, I have lots of notes that say, ask Trisha, because I have to ask her what she means in a certain spot, and I have to see what she wants to do for changes in this novel. As we live our lives, we can't just go off and make our own decisions. We keep asking the author, and that is God, right? He's the author of our lives. The Bible has a couple spots where it talks about God or Jesus being the author. Acts 3 verse 15 in the NIV says, you killed the author of life, but God raised him from the dead. And of course, that's talking about Jesus. He's the author of life. And then Hebrews 12, 1 and 2 in the New King James Version, it says, let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. And so, yes, Jesus, God, they are the authors of our lives. We can trust that they have the story all figured out. They know the ending. It's going to be a good ending. We're in the messy middle. We're living it out, and we don't know what's going to happen. But we can trust God. And so I guess that is what I was kind of thinking about for today to pass on to you. Some of you have heard it. I know a lot of church people watch these videos, and so sorry you're getting a double dose if you heard the message this morning. But a lot of you haven't heard it yet today. And so we can be thankful that God is the author of our lives. And that thankful thinking will hopefully get us through the days when we're thinking, what is going on? What is he doing in my life? I don't like this. We know that he's going to get us through to the wonderful ending that he has planned for us. So we can all be thankful for that. So that's it for today. And I will be back tomorrow with another video. I'm going to hit the editing hard. I'm trying to get done with it pretty soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.